Indigenous peoples are rights holders, self-governing peoples with inherent relationships and responsibilities as guardians of our territories and Mother Earth. Without the right to self-determination, free, prior, and informed consent, and the legal protection and security of our territories, lands, and waters, there is no climate, environmental, economic, and food justice. A just transition is grounded in the effective respect of our full right to self-determination and must be based on the guarantee of our internationally recognized inherent and distinct collective rights over our territories, lands, and waters. Just transition must work towards the phase-out of colonialism, capitalism, and the extraction such as those that characterize a fossil fuel economy and exploitation. What's very important is that we also have to put an end to militarization of Indigenous peoples' territories and all peoples' territories on Mother Earth. For Indigenous peoples of the world, respect for our own governance systems, cosmovision, spirituality, and our full and meaningful participation in decision-making, respect for our traditional knowledge, our sciences, our cultural practices, and our own indigenous-based regenerative economies, indigenous jurisprudence, customary rights, and the legal protection of our territories, lands, and waters are indispensable for a true just transition. The question is, what are the next steps that we are challenged with this second week and on the road to COP31? We must put forward the provisions adopted by COP30 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in its UAE Just Transition Work Program, paragraph 12.I, which states, the importance of the rights of Indigenous peoples, including their right to free, prior, and informed consent, and the importance of ensuring that all just transition pathways respect, protect, and promote the distinct, collective, and internationally recognized rights of the Indigenous peoples, including the right to self-determination, and acknowledge the specific rights and protections for Indigenous peoples in voluntary isolation and initial contact. In accordance with relevant international human rights instruments and principles, as parties consider their functions, modalities, and the process for the operationalization, we will encourage parties to focus on the fundamental question: how can these mechanisms support the implementation of the commitments that have already been agreed under the Just Transition Work Program? This language of 12I is very important. For Indigenous peoples, this begins again with the paragraph 12I, but also 18 of the Just Transition Work Program. These agreements, again, recognize the importance of all transition pathways respecting and promoting the rights of Indigenous peoples, consistent with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. The challenge before us now is implementation. We will continue to seek support for the principles of FPIC as a non-negotiable right. No measure, policy, or project related to the transition should proceed without our free, prior, and informed consent. This is not a simple consultation process, but the full exercise of our right to decide, including the right to deny such consent, the right to say no. To advance our Indigenous fundamental principles in the development of the Just Transition Roadmap is to advance mechanisms that recognize again our legal and ancestral protection of our rights to our territories, land, waters, but also air, for the exercise of this right of self-determination. For us, territory and nature is not a resource, but the foundation of life, culture, governance, and spirituality through our indigenous knowledge systems and sciences. We as indigenous peoples are mandated by our respective spiritual original instructions to protect the sacredness of Mother Earth and the sacredness of Father Sky. The just transition must guarantee the territorial integrity of Mother Earth, as well as our territorial rights, including subsurface rights, the recognition of the use, traditional possession, and collective ownership of our lands, and the safeguarding of our sacred landscapes, recognizing the legally binding nature of our cultural and spiritual relationships. So without our relationship protected, all these actions from the basis of climate action is very extremely important, including biodiversity conservation. The world cannot achieve economic sustainability without environmental, climate, and economic justice, without strong environmental ethics to recognize the human relationship to the sacredness of our Mother Earth, your Mother Earth, everyone's Mother Earth. The future of mankind depends on a new economic and environmental paradigm. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.